Hello, my loves. I'm Venus Morrigan, and today we're going to explore one of the most mysterious, debated, and intriguing topics in human intimacy, the G-spot. Does it really exist, or is it just a myth? Is it the key to deeper pleasure, or is it simply an illusion created by desire and expectation? And most importantly, if it does exist, where is it and how can it be found? Before we begin, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support allows us to continue diving into these fascinating topics, breaking down myths, uncovering scientific truths, and helping you understand your own body and pleasure in ways you may never have before. Now, let's embark on this journey together. For decades, the G-spot has been both a source of curiosity and controversy. Some claim it holds the secret to intense pleasure and even full-body orgasms, while others argue that it's nothing more than an overhyped idea, fueled by books, media, and the endless search for something more. But the truth, like most things related to the human body, is far more complex and far more fascinating. The term G-spot comes from the name of Dr. Ernst Grafenberg, a German gynecologist who, in the 1950s, described a particularly sensitive area inside the vaginal canal that seemed to trigger powerful responses in some women. But even today, the debate continues because unlike the clitoris, which is a clearly defined organ, the G-spot is more of a region rather than a specific structure. So where is it? The G-spot is typically located along the front wall of the vagina, about 2 to 3 inches inside, toward the belly. It is often described as a slightly rougher or spongier area, different from the surrounding tissue. But here's where things get interesting. Not every woman experiences intense pleasure from stimulation in this area. Some find it electrifying, others feel nothing out of the ordinary, and some may even find it uncomfortable. And this is why understanding the G-spot requires more than just knowing where to find it. It requires understanding how arousal, anatomy, and individual variation play a role in pleasure. What many people don't realize is that the G-spot isn't a separate, isolated organ. It is part of a larger network of interconnected structures that include the clitoris, the urethral sponge, and deeper vaginal tissues. The reason some women experience intense pleasure from G-spot stimulation isn't because it's a magical button. It's because this area is connected to the internal structure of the clitoris, which extends deep into the body. In other words, the G-spot may actually be part of a broader pleasure system, where multiple regions work together to create sensation. But the key to unlocking pleasure in this area isn't just about pressure, it's about arousal. The G-spot becomes far more sensitive when a woman is fully aroused, because during arousal, blood flow increases to the vaginal walls, the tissue swells, and the entire area becomes more responsive to touch. This is why many women don't immediately feel pleasure from G-spot stimulation if they're not sufficiently aroused. It's not about technique alone, it's about timing, connection, and listening to the body's signals. So, how can the G-spot be stimulated in a way that feels pleasurable? The most common method is through curved, upward motion, using fingers or a specially designed toy to gently apply pressure against the front vaginal wall. Many find that a come-hither motion, where the fingers curl inwards, helps to engage the tissue in a way that builds sensation gradually. But again, the key is patience. Forcing the experience rarely leads to pleasure, but exploring with curiosity often does. And here's something even more fascinating. Some researchers suggest that what we call the G-spot may actually be a part of a deeper orgasmic network that includes the cervix, the anterior vaginal wall, and even areas of the perineum. This would explain why some women report experiencing intense, whole-body orgasms that feel different from clitoral orgasms. Instead of seeing the G-spot as a single, isolated point, the latest understanding suggests that pleasure is distributed, activated by a combination of physical touch, arousal, and even emotional connection. And that brings us to an even deeper truth. Pleasure is not just about anatomy. It is about mindset, relaxation, emotional safety, and trust. A woman who feels comfortable, connected, and unpressured is far more likely to experience deeper pleasure than one who feels rushed or expected to react in a certain way. This is why, for some, The search for the G-spot feels frustrating. It's not about finding something. It's about creating an experience where pleasure naturally unfolds. But the debate over the G-spot also reveals something interesting about how we think about pleasure. For so long, people have searched for a magic button, a single place on the body that, when touched the right way, guarantees pleasure. But human desire doesn't work like that. Pleasure is not about hitting the right spot. It's about understanding how the body responds, how the mind and emotions influence sensation, and how each person experiences arousal in their own unique way. And this brings me to one final, beautiful realization. The greatest pleasure often comes from exploration, from taking the time to discover rather than expecting an instant reaction, from listening to the body rather than following a rigid formula, and from releasing the pressure to feel something specific and instead allowing pleasure to unfold naturally. So, my love, if you've ever wondered whether the G-spot is real, the answer is this: it depends on what you mean by real. It is not a mythical hidden organ, nor is it a universal key to instant orgasm. But it is a region of the body that, when approached with patience, arousal, and curiosity, can lead to profound pleasure for many. And ultimately, the true secret to pleasure is not about finding a single point. It's about embracing the journey of discovery without expectation and with an open mind. I hope this conversation has given you insight, inspiration, and perhaps a new way to think about pleasure. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment sharing your thoughts. Have you explored the concept of the G-spot? What have you discovered in your own experiences? I love hearing your stories, and every time we talk about these topics, we create space for deeper understanding, more confidence, and more pleasure. Sending you all my warmth, and until next time, trust your body, explore without pressure, and remember that pleasure is a journey, not a destination. A soft kiss, and I'll see you soon.